and they don't want to put all the additives. You know, they want to put vegetables and healthy meals in their kids. We save them time, we save them money, we equip them with the right tools for the right job. If you really have the will to make this work, you can gain the skill. But you have to believe that, number one, you're worth it, that you are an entrepreneur, and that you deserve it just the way a whole other bunch of people deserve it. There's enough business for everybody. Doesn't need to be cutthroat. There are millions of people, and each one has a kitchen. And nobody comes to one show and buys all $6,000 or $8,000 worth of stuff at their very first show. And every 6 months we change it. So I thought maybe I would share a few things that some people are doing, because I do kind of have a pulse on the company. I have friends who live across the country, and I talk with them on a regular basis. I know what's happening in my downline, what's working for some. Marna Ross, Love Carpenter, Becky Ishii, Karen Josephus, Marna Ross, did I say her? Kathy. I don't know. I have this great group that I talk to every Friday. We all pour ourselves coffee, and we kind of like are a little kind of a group. I am going to tell you, you are who you hang around with. Okay, so you can decide to be Tigger or Eeyore. You know, and I really say, if you want to be a leader in the company, you have to be positive. You cannot walk in the room and suck the air out of it. Okay, when you walk in the room, you want to add air into it. If Sharon was standing next to me, I should not be a person with a needle and try to pop her bubble. I should be the kind of person that wants to make the person standing next to me stand taller and be more excited. And you know, I know she told me not to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm not going to have them walk around the room. I just want everybody stand up, just for a second. Okay. This is just to prove a point. I want you to turn to the person on your right and left and greet them as if they were dirt. They are the most unimportant person in the world. They might be related to your ex-husband. You can care less about them. Okay. I know you guys are feeling so. You're feeling ravioli. You're feeling so uncomfortable. Ravioli. Now I want you to turn to the person on your right and left. This is like Oprah Winfrey. This is like the biggest movie star, the most important person in the room. You're going to greet the two people next to you like, oh my God, I died and went to heaven. I am so excited to see you. Now greet them. But that's exactly what you do all the time with the people at your show, with the guests, hosts, customers, the consultants on your team. You really have a power of influencing others, and you don't even realize how much you matter to everybody else that you see. And when you treat people like they're the most important person in the world, you start listening to them, you're doing your show, and you ask them questions before the show even started. I don't know if it's sunk into you what Sharon said at the very beginning. At the beginning, you're set up and ready to go because you're schmoozing with people, you're getting to know them, and you're asking them questions about themselves. Because I find out that your child plays soccer, and then your daughter's in gymnastics, and you've got one at one school and one at the other, and I look at you, and what is your name? Teresa. You told me about how busy your life is. This Rock can make fast, easy meals. And it's going to save you on those busy sport nights. You're going to come home from the game and you'll be able to pop it in. In 10 minutes, you can have a pork tenderloin done. And, you know, or chicken fajita in 14 minutes. And this is something you've got to have. And if you're not going to get it tonight, you need to have a show with me so I can get you one, because you need it right away. You know, you're going to personalize how you're selling and talking to the audience. I've always found that it was a lot more important for me to find out the ages of their children than their age. Right? Because I can meet somebody my age and they can be a grandmother, or somebody my age and barely they're an empty nester, or maybe they even have little ones at home. So you don't know the circumstances of the people at your show. Some of you are saying, God, if I had 72 bookings in 3 months, I could have been a national executive director like Nancy Jo Ryan too. How do I do that? How do I get to the point where I have more business than I know what to do? And I'll tell you a few secrets about what some of us do. When you have more than you need, you can give things away. You could say to your host, I would love to do your friend's party. You've got 3 bookings. I'm booked till December. Why don't you just do your own party? What do you have to lose by trying? You've got a business right here on a silver platter. Start with me. This could be, you know, and that's what many of us have done. That's how I recruited Sherry Carr, who's the National Executive Director. My calendar was full. I met her in September or October. She wanted a party in November. I couldn't fit her in until January. And I just said, because I was doing 2 shows a week, but I wasn't, you know, I had a life and 3 kids that were very busy. And I said to her, just do your own show. And she goes, oh, wait a minute. My husband travels. He's a big guy in BP Amoco. He travels. I have 4 kids. I'm on my preschool board. I do this. I do that. I don't know that I could even do 1 show a month. I looked at her and I said, well, it's your own business. You get to decide how much you do. She started. She called her 2 best friends who were her roommates in college. One lived in Virginia, one lived in Texas. And that's how Sherry Carr's business started. It doesn't need to be rocket science. I always say there's only 2 things you need to learn how to do. Number 1, how to book a show. Number 2, how to do a show.
I love that.
Not
easy.
Rocket science, is it? Book a show, do a show. 100%. It's so much easier if you learn how to book shows at the shows you already have. Because then your job is done. Work the night that you're out to work. Get those shows on your calendar. Take your phone. Exchange contact information with your host. I even open up my Red Stamp app and tell her, which invitation do you want? Let me text you one right here and now. Fill in the stuff.
Write that down.
So,
Oh my gosh, there's only been 1?
you're going to hurt her feelings if you like my idea. So anyway, I just do that right away, and you're starting a relationship. You book the show, you hand her the host packet. You don't have to mail it out. You know, you're going to work out details. You're going to find out when's the best daytime number for me to reach you, or what's the best number to reach you on a Sunday night, whenever you do your stuff that you do. So learn to book shows at your shows. Also, when you're out and about, if you're going to wear logo wear, look presentable. Like I said at the beginning, if nobody's complimented you in a while, think about it.
I don't think you said that to this group.
We can take it, we can take it.
We can take, I mean, truly, if it's been over 2 months and nobody complimented you on your hair, your outfit, your glasses, time to go to the beauty shop, get a cut, color, change your style, do something. At least have a blingy pair. If you ever see Nancy Francis, she's a national executive, take a look at her reading glasses. She wears outrageous, sparkly reading glasses you can't help but notice, and you're going to always compliment or comment on it. You know, if you end up with designer Pampered Chef jewelry, you know, somebody comments on it, it starts a conversation. Do not drive through your life. And I mean that very seriously. We are a people business. You book shows from being around people. If you're always going through the drive-through, the bank, Starbucks, McDonald's, I don't know. Go inside with logo wear. Forget that you have your apron on purpose and go grocery shopping. You know what? So that you get to engage in a conversation. Be ready, though. Be ready. Be armed and dangerous. Be armed and dangerous. Do you know your next 2 available show dates? Do you have a host packet in your car? Now, my little Amish, I have to tell you about Miriam.
You know the
Okay.
Amish that we've been talking about? They don't want the house.
Okay, so stop it. Yes, there's these cute little bonnet ladies, okay? The Amish ladies who are like my heroes. Everybody says, "Oh, I can't do business. It's the month of my daughter's birthday." Oh, I love that. Are you kidding me? You know what I hear from my Amish consultants? Well, I finally got through my 20 phone calls, but it took me a lot longer because I had to ride my bike a half a mile to the phone shack. We share the phone shack with 7 other families. And sometimes when I get to the phone shack, the phone is already being used by somebody else. And I have to wait. But I've got my kids with me, so sometimes I have to ride the half a mile back on my bike, dragging my kids in the car to go home and then go back to the phone shack. Then when I finally make a phone call, the person I'm calling, the phone shack that they're answering at, "Hey Mary, you got a call." You know, it is complicated. And they do it anyway.
And they sell.
Miriam, to get to her